Questions of Doom.
Hello and welcome back to another Questions of Doom. In this series, as ever, I attempt to answer questions that you send my way using the archeosoup@gmail.com email address, as you will see displayed on the YouTube channel homepage, or alternatively, as you'll see at the end of this video. It is my fond hope that in answering these questions by video, the answer is not only useful to the person who has asked the question, but also anyone else out there in YouTube land who may be wondering the same thing. Now, today's question, actually, it has taken me a little bit of time to get the answer together, or get some sort of an answer together. It was asked also via the ArcheoSoup Facebook community page, as opposed to the email address, and it came from a friend of mine who lives in North Yorkshire, or York. Actually, I believe it's a separate entity. They get very picky in those parts about this kind of thing. But nonetheless, he asked the question via the page, which said something like, "Ring and dot motif, discuss." At first I was like, is this person trying to trap me? Because it's entirely likely that this particular friend of mine knows an awful lot more about the ring and dot motif than I possibly do. However, it is a motif which I have been fascinated by for some time. And before I lose all of you completely, I shall explain a bit about the ring and dot motif and also where it is found. The ring and dot motif is a simple geometric design found throughout the archaeological record. The beauty of the ring and dot motif is that all you need to produce it is a compass-like object. It can even be carved onto bone or wood by placing pins or needles on the end of the compass. This simple but effective design has been found on objects dating to as early as the Bronze Age. In turn, it is found on many objects from the Iron Age, including coins, and it found its way onto easily recognizable objects such as dice with the Romans. The Romans used this motif on many items of artwork and jewellery, including this Roman horsehead brooch. And it seems from there the ring and dot motif is everywhere. This is a whalebone ironing board from the Viking period. These are pommels for Norman knives. And later in the medieval period, the ring and dot motif even appears on objects such as pins and needles. Rings and dots find their way onto knife handles from northern India, and today, the very popular Chinese board game of Mahjong often features ring and dot motifs. And finally, continuing the Roman tradition, Las Vegas is known to use a myriad of rings and dots on their dice. So there you have it. The ring and dot motif is simple, and it exists partly because it is simple to produce. All you need is something kind of like a compass. But also it seems to be ubiquitous. It is almost everywhere. And I'm sure there are many other examples that I have not come across. And actually I wouldn't be at all surprised if there are examples stretching further back in time. One of the reasons actually why I decided to start with a period which isn't in the Paleolithic is because I think the technique used to create the ring and dot motif is as important as the motif itself. So those examples which I mentioned are ones which were probably made using that kind of compass technique, as opposed to, say, painting it on to a cave wall, or perhaps carving it with a knife into something made of antler or bone. So that is a summary of what it is that we're getting at, and I think that it is truly a fascinating motif, and hopefully in some small way I've gone somewhere along the path of answering or discussing, I suppose, the ring and dot motif in that sense. But this is where I'd like to invoke your help, you wonderful people who watch these videos, and that is if you know of any other examples where the ring and dot motif has been employed, and for this purpose I shall open it up to any form of ring and dot motif, but it has to be identifiably ring and dot. I, and indeed my friend, would be very interested in hearing about it. Mr. Williamson, incidentally, is his name. So essentially I don't feel as though I've answered this question properly. I've explored the issue somewhat, and I'd like to open it out to everybody out there, because I definitely feel as though there's probably more to find out and more to discuss about the ring and dot motif. But if you've never heard of it before, I'm happy to have brought it to you because it is a motif which as I say, is repeated in archaeology and indeed in modern life, seemingly around the world. So, so there you go. Thank you very much for asking about the ring and dot motif. I don't feel entirely happy with the answer that I could give, but then again, I don't profess to know everything. So I'm very pleased to be able to throw it out to everyone else out there who's watching. And if you have anything else to say about this, please comment below, because to be honest, I'd like to learn a bit more about it as well. So that's been today's Questions of Doom, the ring and dot motif. So until next time, thank you very much. Bye bye.